The world remains constant over the centuries, but human life is like the dew at dawn, or a bubble rising through water.
Oke, halo guys, kali ini kita bakal lanjut selesaiin questnya jalan ya. Dan kalau kita pakai resin dulu. Ini mana? Mantap sekali Raiden. Ya gue udah bisa send sih, cuma nggak ada duit ya. Fuki Shinobu. Nih, gue nggak bisa naikin dia. Nah, udah duit gue 800 tuh. Ngomong-ngomong ada event baru ya. Nanti gue kerjain. Sekarang kita jadi dulu kata questnya hilang. Alhamdulillah dapat duit. Naikin lagi. Nice. Elah. Jujur ya, gue males banget farming spektral, jadi Oke. Tapi sekarang kita nggak punya Mora, jadi kita mainin questnya Yelan dulu. Halo, Uncle Tian.
All right, then let me ask this. The idea is
I didn't want to say anything when I gave you the list of candidates. For fear of offending your judgment. But I can tell you now, those three candidates have all studied under me in the past. It's only natural that they share some similarities with me. But Xin Wei went on to focus on his business, and Ming Guo has always been occupied with his work at the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Of all of them, Jerry was with me for the longest duration.
Whoa! So how did you get to know them all, Uncle Tian?
Chen Wei was referred to me by an old friend. Ming Guo came to my attention in the course of my work. As for Jerry, I was pure happenstance. We first met while fishing. Gradually, as we got to know each other, we started discussing all sorts of topics. Jerry came from a poor family, and his parents died when he was very young. He reminded me of a younger version of myself. So I started out giving him a few words of advice when we were out fishing and noticed how quickly he got off. Quite. And now, all of a sudden, he's grown into a mature young man. It's a joy to see. But it also gets one thinking. The young are growing up, and I am growing old. How time flies. No one can escape the cycle of life.
I don't know, Uncle Tian. You still seem in pretty good shape to me. You might have another few years of work left in you, don't you think?
Oh, you. There's really no need to console me. Having less energy than I used to,
Sounds like you sure love fishing, Uncle Tian.
there's nothing quite like fishing to pass the time. Ooh, and freshly caught fish, they make the most beautiful fish soup with barely any preparation required.
Fresh fish soup.
Doesn't it? Also, some time ago, Jury purchased a very special recipe from an old fisherman. When we've been fishing recently, Jury always brings some extra ingredients he prepared in advance. Oh, the addition of that flavor makes for a fond memory. But at my age, who knows how many more chances I have.
Oh, can Paimon come next time too? Paimon really wants to try it.
Let's get back to the matter at hand. Uncle Tian, we've reported back. Do you have a verdict?
I appointed you as the assessment officer, and I trust your judgment. Had you not asked me why Jury's ideas were so similar to mine, I was not going to mention my history with any of them. This decision must be guided by what is fair and right. Please disregard all other considerations and make
Nice.
your final decision.
Yang ini objektif banget
After
nih.
a thorough review, remember, you must be thorough.
Understood. Come on, let's go talk somewhere else.
Bye-bye, Uncle Tian. Look after yourself. So, it's gonna be Jiri, right? His manifesto was written well, and he's the best speaker.
Easy. Let's not rush. There's no time limit for this assessment.
Huh? So,
No, nothing like that. The assessment itself is complete. But let me give you a word of advice. Things are not always as they appear.
Gak kuat gue sama ambil kalau soal jalan.
The biggest no-no in intelligence work is to only get information from the person of interest themselves. The truth is almost always hidden beneath many layers of deception. You have to get information through many different channels. For example, Wenyuan, Shanghua.
Yes? Lady Yelan, what are your orders?
Ini seragam Fatwi gak sih?
ugh! Who are they? Where did they come from?
Did they scare you? These two are Wenyuan and Shanghua. They work for me as my trusted assistants. They are always standing guard nearby. Shanghua is a business expert who gets his information by trading. Wenyuan relies on word of mouth. And there's also Upei, who's not here right now.
That meathead must have been out there on sea surveillance for some time now. Nothing can take that guy down. Certainly not a little wind and waves.
Shanghua, visit all the commerce guilds and look into Qianwei's background. Wenyuan, go to the Ministry of Civil Affairs and look through Mingguo's work files.
Yes, ma'am.
So what about Jiri?
Zhi. Well, obviously, as the most promising candidate, we will be investigating him ourselves. Let's go to the docks first.
If we're looking for information, why don't we try talking to Bulai, the owner of Wanyu Boutique? He does business at the North Wharf. Maybe...
That's actually not a bad idea. Let's go and ask him.
Okay. Dapat moral gak? Nice, 24.000. Berapa moral gua? 60.000, oke. Gak apa-apa. Ya ada quest.
Huh? What's Bulai doing here today?
Look, your asking price for this batch is just too high. I can't buy in at this price. How am I supposed to turn a Come on, hear me out. I'm telling you, this is the single best batch of Sunsetias ever. You won't find anyone who disputes them. I accidentally dropped one into a well, and even the water turned sweet. Even so... All right. I'll let you in on a little secret. The boss of Second Life also wants to buy from me, but I haven't responded yet.
Gue kesel banget sama ekspresinya. Jago nih anjing Hoyo First.
you won't take him, I'll just have to partner with them instead.
Okay, well, when you put it that way.
Boleh goblok sih.
Oh, what are you doing here? And to be clear, these Sunsetias are mine.
Actually, we want to ask you about a guy called Juri. Have you heard of him before?
Juri? Yes, he's quite well known. I've heard a story about him. They say he was born into poverty. His parents died when he was young, and he was treated cruelly by the local community.
Broken home.
One of his neighbors was terribly rude to him all the time, but Juri never retaliated. And when his neighbor went bankrupt, he even helped support the family.
Pasti.
He returned cruelty with kindness, injustice with peace offerings. A gentleman of talent and character, and how did I not notice him sooner? In fact, maybe I'm not too late. If I could hire him to be the brand ambassador for Wanyo Boutique.
Oh, he sounds like a decent man.
Why are you asking about him anyway? You aren't looking for a brand ambassador too, are you? Well then, in that case, the higher bidder takes the...
Where?
It's him, all right. Looks like he's chatting with Lean Long. Come on, let's follow them and let's try not to let him see you.
I'll just go and fetch an employment contract. And hey, don't try and cut me out of this. Hey!
Goblok.
I understand. Let's walk and talk.
Gua sangat membenci hal ini.
So, you were looking to buy a wineware set? Oh, now I can see that you're a connoisseur, so I won't bother trying to con you. I trust you understand our shop quite well?
The truth is, an old friend of mine likes to have a drink now and then. He fancies himself as a man of culture, but doesn't care for needless extravagance. So I thought I might buy him a set of high-quality fakes.
How very thoughtful of you. Leave it to me, then. Come and collect it at Shigu Antiques whenever is convenient.
Thank you very much, Miss Linlong.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Juri. These days, it's quite rare for someone of your standing to still keep up with their old friends. It's nice to see. I'll be sure to pick out a good set for you. You can count on me.
Min. Ya udah.
Juri seems to get along really well with that. Are you satisfied now, Yelan? Seems like everyone thinks Juri's a great guy.
We shouldn't jump to conclusions just yet. Let's go check out the wharf where he usually goes fishing.
Do we have to? Wait, you're not just trying to dig up some dirt on Juri because you want to be Tianchu yourself, are you?
Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. But hey, if I do become Tianshu, I'll look out for you guys.
Ini namanya nepotisme ya. Saya suka ini.
You'll be able to try all the finest food for free. How does that sound?
We will? Well, come on! Off to the South Wharf we go!
Dan ini namanya korban nepotisme. Nanti di forward. Nah, sort of ini yang ini kan. Tof yang mana sih? Apa? Kepala jauh. Halo.
is as busy as ever. I hear the anglers here sometimes sell their fish to the nearby fishmongers. Let's see what Uncle Soon has to say.
Welcome. What would you like to buy today?
Sorry to interrupt. We're actually members of the, Liyue Anglers Association, and we just wanted to ask a few questions about someone. We've heard about this young man called Zhi, who's supposed to be a fantastic fisherman. Just wondering if you happen to have heard of him?
Whoa! You made up a whole fake identity.
Ah, yes, Jury. He's been making quite a name for himself recently. I've got some friends who travel all over the place, and they tell me everywhere they go they meet someone who's heard of him. Apparently, he had a rather tough time growing up. Had to work several jobs alongside his studies to make ends meet. How does that saying go? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, if there's anything to that logic,
Yeah, we think so too.
but I'm afraid your Anglers Association might be in for a disappointment.
Oh? Why is that?
He's good at a lot of things, but fishing isn't one of them. He fishes at the wharf and sells what he catches to me on occasion. His catches are always mediocre. Not terrible, but equally nothing to write home about. If you're looking to recruit some new members, though, I do know a few top anglers I could put you...
That sounds fantastic. I've got a couple of other things to attend to right now, though, so why don't I come back some other time and we can chat over a drink?
Ajakan yang menarik.
Sure thing. See you.
Everywhere they go, they meet someone who's heard of him. Come on, let's keep asking around.
Di sini gue pengen beli kepiting. Apa sih namanya?
Here to buy some
Ada
fish.
presentation ya?
300 for 1 or 3 for 1,000. You better hurry. When they're gone, they're gone.
Hello, we're from the Society for Fish Price Research. We'd just like to ask a few questions.
Society for Fish Price Research. I haven't done anything illegal. Stay out of my business.
Please, don't worry. We're just here to conduct a simple survey. We've heard about a certain Zhi who's been selling fresh fish at low prices in this area recently. Do you know anything about...
So this isn't about me. You should have said something, you know. I know the guy. I could tell you what. I haven't heard anything about him selling fresh fish at low prices, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was him.
Huh? Why is that?
Because he's so poor. His parents died when he was very young, and his alcoholic father still owed a huge amount of debt. No one wanted anything to do with him.
Sian gue, broken home
He
parah
was
deh.
still a kid when he first came to the wharf. His clothes were ragged, and he had a bandage wrapped around his head. He managed to survive, thanks to Uncle Tien, who gave him some food. But still to this day, he doesn't have a lot of mora to his name. I mean, he can afford to eat and everything, but you'll often see him haggling with others over just a few mora. So, I wouldn't be surprised to find out he's been selling a few fish. It's not like he catches much anyway, so it's not going to affect my business. Don't tell him I said that.
You'd rather he didn't know?
Well, I spoke to him once briefly, and I just had a feeling that he really cares what other people think of him. I think he has pretty low self-esteem, but hey, it's hardly my place to say anything. What he's achieved already puts most people to shame, and nobody's perfect. I just wouldn't want to upset him, that's all.
I see. Well, thank you for...
Not a problem. And just for the record, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the price of my fish.
Ya iya lusus, udah lusus.
The more times you say it, the less convincing it becomes.
Doesn't have a lot of mora.
Lo,
Tell me,
lu bukannya udah ngedet?
find the right girl?
Hey, it's you guys. Wait, what's the phrase? Oh yeah. Honored to meet. What brings you to me?
The truth is, we are but newcomers to this territory. We heard tell of a great martial artist. Master Dugu, who knows everything there is to know. Hence, we sought you out to ask for your guidance.
Gila.
Really? People said I know everything there is,
But of course, we also heard that Master Dugu is a kind and virtuous swordsman who never turns away
Jahat
anyone who
anjir.
comes with.
great. So what do you wish to know? Nothing happens on this street that I don't know about.
Now she's lying to a kid.
So, Master Dugu, have you heard of one by the name of Jur-E?
Sure have. You mean that guy that all the grown-ups are talking about these days? I've heard many tales of Jury. For example, I can't remember.
Kalian siapa ya?
Nothing that important. I prefer stories about sword-fighting heroes.
Oh, I can completely understand that. Then let me ask you this. Do you remember roughly when the grown-ups started talking about Jur-E?
Oh yeah, I know that. It was before that. People always used to talk about Jury in a kind of nasty tone of voice. But 2 or 3 months ago, suddenly everyone started to like him. Sometimes he gives me candies. So I'm glad that people are starting to like him now.
Just as I thought.
Huh?
I mean, just as I thought, Master Dugu is indeed as kind and virtuous as the legends claim.
I'm not that great. Oh yeah, one other thing. These days, there's a lot of people I've never seen before talking about Jury stories in the street. They seem like nice people.
Di
Oh, definitely.
campaign banget ya.
Great. So next time I see them, I'll say hi. And I guess I can share some of my candy.
Certainly. You can also tell my friend in Yenshang Tea House about what they're up to. I'm sure my friend would also like to say hi to them.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome. Well then, fare thee well, Master Dugu.
Until we meet again.
Any of that sound strange to you?
Strange? Jury seems to have a great reputation. Uncle Sue.
True. But the issue is, where did his sudden celebrity come from? It almost seems too good to be true.
Sudden? Too good to be true? What do you mean?
So he returns cruelty with kindness and had to work to support his studies. These are the kinds of things that make someone well known in their hometown. But Uncle Soon said even his friends who travel far and wide hear about him wherever they go. Do you remember what Dugu Shuo said about Jur-E's stories? Clearly they left him with a good impression of the guy. But beyond that, he wasn't interested in the details. That's the reaction I would plus. There's the fact that all this praise of Jur-E has only been happening within the last 2 or 3
Ya kan?
months.
Suka akal.
His childhood, his studies, the thing with his neighbor. None of these are recent events. So why are these stories only going around now?
When you put it like that.
Of course, if that's all there was to it, I wouldn't look into it any further. Jur-E was born into a poor family. Paying people to get his stories out there is within the rules of the game as far as I'm concerned.
Masuk akal.
The problem is, do you remember what Uncle Gao said about him? He stayed poor his whole life. Everything he's earned, he's either spent on studying, traveling, right. And that changes everything. It can mean a powerful faction is trying to gain influence over the Liu at Xixing. That's the worst case scenario. But all too often, the most pessimistic speculation turns out to be correct.
Someone's trying to gain influence over the Qixing? That sounds serious. What should we do? Even if we ask Jury about it.
First, we need to find out who's supporting him. Don't worry, I've got a plan. Remember the current affairs and planning stage of the assessment? Since the successful candidate is duty-bound to implement their plan after taking office, their manifesto tells us their stance on key issues. Whoever is secretly helping Jur-E must be seeking to benefit from his actions after his appointment. So, we should be able to find some hints in Jur-E's manifesto on who we're dealing with. Come on, let's get back to you.
Ya, historia Yalan isinya politik semua. Oh, gue bisa ngisi ya? Bisa. Yeay. Kushinobu, Tagoro, Yang Chongyeon. Sudah.
Jur-E's manifesto covers a huge range of topics. Looking for details that don't add up will be like trying to find it. I'll divide the reports into 2 piles. You take one, I'll take the other. Officially, the assessment is already over, and I'll be expected to announce the results before long. So we have to get to the bottom of this as quickly as we can.
We better hurry.
Whatever else Uncle Tien might think of Jur-E, the fact remains that he's one of his favorite. Any evidence he's left is not going to be immediately obvious. We'll have to...
Even though Yelan, well, we gotta start some.
Set up special control unit, deal with sea monsters. Consist of the following. Rock, okay. Focus on watch. The house for a long time now. It should be given first refusal if any suitable projects rise. Mining, tunnel constructions, roads. Well, Crest and the Qingyun Peak means the has weak mountain peaks are connected only by a rope bridge. They are dangerous to walk on and hold on to the building a road that walks around the mountains would be beneficial for everyone.
Oh, this reading is giving. Let's take.
Looks like I'm the first one back, as you...
Oh, hey! It's one of Yelan's little helpers! If you're back, that means you've...
You betcha. I visited all the commerce guilds and gathered a wealth of information. Every time they asked me to leave, but I always had another trick up my sleeve.
Don't drag this out. Just tell us your findings.
Yes, Lady Yelan. To summarize my findings, most people who've had interactions with Qianwei will start out complaining about how proud and arrogant he is, but then go on to give a generally positive appraisal. The young master of the Feiyun Commerce Guild said that Qianwei appears arrogant, but he's very scrupulous in the way he works.
Oke, jadi scrupulous itu apa ya? Bentar. Scrupulous. Diligent, thorough, and extremely attentive. Oke, itu ya
Once
bagus.
he signs a contract with somebody, he treats them fairly regardless of their background.
Who'd have thought?
Is it possible that his reputation is fake? Is there any way you can check the accounts of the bit?
In theory, that should be very difficult. But here's the thing. I asked around and found out that almost all of Qianwei's accounts are open to the public. Where he buys from and sells to should be confidential business information, but he doesn't seem interested in protecting it at all.
Terus,
Qianwei often sees business opportunities that others don't, but once he's made enough mora off of it, it's like he gets sick of it, releases all of his trade secrets. It's like he wants people to know that they still can't beat him, even if he shares all of his secrets. The fact that someone like that can still make mora is pretty infuriating when you think about it.
What a strange guy. It's like he's not doing business to make mora, but instead...
hobi.
To validate his theories. No wonder his manifesto contains so many insights. It's all the result of his first-hand experimentation.
I'm back!
Huh? How come you're...
Why do you think? Obviously, because I possess superior skills and am always one step ahead of the...
You... Ugh, whatever. I'm not getting into an argument with you. If I...
Lady Yelan, I have finished in...
Well, We're all ears.
The Ministry of Civil Affairs says that Minghua struggles to get his words out when he gets nervous. But after a few days of getting to know him, you can pretty much have a normal conversation with him. On the whole, the feedback from the ministry...
In your opinion, was the Ministry of Civil Affairs' appraisal of Minghua at all exaggerated?
I don't believe so. Minghua is someone who has slowly but surely earned the reputation. According to Miss Yu, the ministry often gets Minghua to take a final look at projects before they're implemented. People feel much more confident in something if it has his stamp of approval. Oh, and also, there was once someone in the ministry who was lying and cheating to try to advance their career. Minghua gave them this.
Whoa.
Like I said before, things are not always as they appear.
Ah! So that's what you meant by that.
Alah, bapak
Thank
lu
you
ngerti.
both. You're free to go now.
Cuy.
So, have you finished reading the manifest?
We still have a bit left.
I can't see any immediate problems looking at the individual entries. The only one that strikes me as a little unusual is the Cheongshu Pool redevelopment plan. Cheongshu Pool has always been home to many
Qingshi.
secrets. Plus, Ajdaha once wrought havoc there.
Qingshi.
There are even more secrets buried deep
Aneh
underground.
sih ngomong.
At some point, a rumor began to go around that there is great treasure buried beneath Cheongshu Pool. A long time ago, with the approval of the Qixing, a mining team conducted an exploratory excavation there.
So, did they find any
None. The ruin was completely impenetrable. The only way they could have gotten through the solid rock would have been... The technology wasn't mature enough at that time, so the excavation project was shut down and the treasure became a... Jur-E's manifesto focuses on solving problems, and this treasure hunt seems extremely risky. It seems still, this one fact alone doesn't tell us much. Everyone wants to get their hands on this treasure. The treasure hoarders, the Fatui, even local Liyue factions. Did you...
excavation? Project? Treasure? Did we read? Oh, yeah! Juri said the Blackcliff Forge workers should get right of first refusal if any suitable projects come up.
Did he now? Well, that makes everything much clearer. So Jur-E wants the Blackcliff Forge to excavate the treasure of Cheongshu.
Di Black Cliffers yang ngebayar.
Does that mean the Blackcliff Forge is Juri's secret supporter?
No, not likely. I've looked into the Blackcliff Forge before. They aren't involved with any... They do possess some specialized explosives, but it would seem more trouble than it's worth to put so many resources into a risky project. Still, since the clues are pointing toward the Blackcliff Forge, we should see where they lead. We may well find something new.
Shenhui and Mingbot both turned out to be completely different than what we thought. What about Juri? Is there another side to him too?
Ah, M. Iha.
Rain, if only you could...
This is the Blackcliff Forge.
Tuh.
Let's look around for clues.
Nothing else that happened today, nothing else today. He got made the team leader.
What's this?
From the back, it looks like a ledger. But it seems they also use it as a site log. We don't know who wrote it, but it's interesting, don't you think? These names, who could have sent them?
You think they're suspicious?
Yes. Look, it says right there, one of them's already been promoted. At this rate, by the time the Cheongshu Pool redevelopment plan is ready to roll, they'll be the technical backbone of the team. That'll give them the chance to take a lot of liberties. They can copy any secret texts or steal any treasure they find under. Imagine if we didn't suspect anything. By the time Jur-E recommends the Blackcliff Forge for the excavation project, at most we would maybe do a fresh background check on the place. No red flags if all they did was change some key staff. And even if we decided to vet the staff individually, They'd have had more than enough time by then to come up with fake identities. That's the advantage of planning this far in advance. It was a clever move.
When you put it like that, it all makes sense. If we hadn't found this out, someone else would have stolen the treasure. So, who's really behind all this?
Lagi-lagi politik ya.
That's a question for the newcomers. But let's...
And soldier.
Excuse us. We want to ask you about the new...
I gotta say, these newcomers are in tip-top shape. Fast learners, too. They're picking up all the skills unbelievably. My only complaint is that they're always going out drinking at night. But they never let us join them.
Kalau eksklusif ya.
I guess they just need some time to adjust. I'm sure we'll get to know each other.
They go out drinking. This area isn't exactly renowned for the nightlife. I'm guessing it's a long...
You got that right. They tell me they go all the way back to Liwei
Ban
Harbor
Min
to
Restaurant
drink
itu
at
punya Xiang Ling.
Ban Min Restaurant. It rained after work today, so they actually stuck around at the site for a while. Hey, you're only young once, right? I say, if they can hack it, let them at it.
Interesting. Let's go. Looks like our hunch was on the Mora. These newcomers are very suspicious. Drinking in Liwei Harbor, huh? Some cover story. I'll wager. Good thing it rained today. It means they'll leave footprints. I doubt they'd give themselves away.
They went that way. Hurry, we gotta catch up.
Gua nggak terlalu percaya sama food. Sangat gak reliable. Saya bukan footprint mereka.
These footprints are heading towards Liwei Harbor. Maybe we were wrong about them.
Just as I thought. They didn't go to Liwei Harbor. They went that way. The footprints stop here. But, judging from the direction, I'm guessing their destination was that abandoned.
Yakin loh. Looks like we were too late. This has gotta be where the newcomers rendezvous with whoever they're working for. Look at these ashes. Someone was burning documents not long before we arrived.
Could there be anything left? Maybe the wind could have blown the fire.
The odds of that are very slim. It's practically impossible.
Why don't we wait for them back at the Black...
We can't count on that. Clearly they were based here at one point, but it's to me, that says that whoever's behind this has moved them somewhere else to throw our investigation.
Darn! Guess this is...
Make no mistake, the purpose of our trip wasn't to find any solid evidence. We just need to figure out who's behind Jur-E. I smelled something peculiar the moment I came in. Those newcomers probably thought they'd be safe as long as they burned the letters. But what they failed to consider is that paper and ink from different regions produce different odors when they're burned.
Really?
There is a certain place with a freezing cold climate where there's nothing but ice as far as the eye can see. Some wealthy people there put floral fragrance in their ink as a way of injecting a little romance into their writing.
Oh ya, jadi katanya Stesnaya itu negara dari cinta ya. Kalau Liwei itu kan kontrak, konsep kebebasan, Liwei Eternity, maka Stesnaya itu cinta, love.
When that fragrant ink is burned, this
Romance.
is the exact odor that it leaves behind. Exactly. The evidence will soon be blown away by the wind, so it's nothing we can arrest anyone, but it's all I need. Now I know who we're dealing with.
Lady Yelan! Oh, thank goodness I finally found you. I thought I'd never see you again.
Don't be alarmed. This is Upei. He's Wenyuan and Shanghua's colleague.
Bajunya bagus anjir gue
I
pengen
sent
sih.
him to look into Zhi-Yi's regular contacts. Since Zhi-Yi likes fishing, Upei thought he might know some of the fishermen and I left him a note at Yanshang Tea House telling him to look for me at Blackcliff Forge when he got back. If there'd been an ambush waiting for us there, it means we'd have had some backup. So, what did you find out at sea?
Forgive my incompetence. I'm afraid I've come up empty. I asked all the fishermen multiple times, but none of them had any interactions with Zhi before. Then the waves got so choppy, when I got back, I heard that you'd gone to Blackcliff Forge and might need backup. So I went straight there as...
Well, Uncle Tian said that Zhi once bought a recipe from one of the fishermen. Did you hear anything about that at all?
That's news to me. No, that's not possible. It's absolutely not possible. Lady Yelan, I'm telling you, I spoke to...
Interesting. Then I wonder how that even more wonderful fish soup came about.
Fish soup?
Nothing. Our priority right now is to find a way to get our hands on some... Well, any suggestions? Not a bad idea. Upei, what do you think?
Honestly, I've already tried following Zhi, but the guy's too cautious. Never meets with anyone suspicious.
Okay, so tailing's out.
No, we'll still need to tail him. But first, we need to do some
Groundwork?
When you've worked in intelligence for a long time, you'll understand that no one can stay on high alert forever. Tomorrow morning, I'll announce his victory at Yuehai Pavilion. Take a guess what you think he'll do next. Be sure
Oh iya, langsung ngomong sama Fatui.
miss the show.
Gila ini Yelan sih pinter banget. Jam 9 the following day. Namanya friend siapa nih? Gua gak akan tahu siapa. Oh enggak ini quest, enggak mau.
It looks like we're all here. Well then, I won't drone on about the importance of the Tianshu role. Suffice to say that Uncle Tian and
All of us here know the score. Don't beat around the bush. Just get up.
Qianwei has many pioneering ideas, but some of his plans are lacking in detail, and he easily gets into... Mingguo is reliable, but not quite ambitious enough. And because of his personality, he struggles to win people over. In contrast, Zhi is evenly balanced across the board and enjoys an excellent reputation in Liyue after much consideration. I have decided to recommend Zhi to the Liyue Qixing.
What?
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Honestly, I'm a little surprised to hear my name being announced. In my estimation, all three of us are worthy candidates for the Tianshu position. As your competitor, I've become keenly aware of your... Would either of you entertain the possibility of working with me in the future? And taking on some of my...
I'll have to see. I'm in a bad mood. This is the last thing I want to be thinking about right now.
Ya masih bukan sore loser lah.
I don't mind, as long as I can help.
Okay, well, that's all from me. Zhi, you'll have some preparation to do. It won't be long before you're informed of your official appointment.
I will live up to the Tianshu name. I should go. I need to pack my things, and then I think a celebratory meal is in.
Count me out. I'm not in the mood for a celebration.
Juri seems pretty relaxed now.
Hey, traveler, tell me something. What exactly does that guy have that I don't?
Humility.
If you can't answer that, I'm not accepting this.
I also wouldn't.
Oh no, if we get stuck here.
Follow him.
Yes, ma'am.
We finally got rid.
Lady Yelan, Juri has gone towards Feiyun Slope.
Follow him. Quick.
Feiyun Slope itu apa ya? Oh. Sama jalan.
But Uncle Tian thinks so highly of him. Why would he do this?
Difficult to say, but everything should become a lot clearer when you find him.
I'm sorry, Lady Yelan. He's too good at this. We weren't able to keep following him without...
How the heck did he manage this? I guess Juri didn't let it.
No, Upe says he's much more relaxed than usual. Maybe it's just how he's wired.
Don't blame yourselves. Let's not forget he was trained by Uncle Tian himself. Evading detection is not an unusual skill for him to have. If I'd asked you to tail Uncle Tian, you'd have ended up at a dead end too. It's fine. So,
Shinue Kiosk. He only went in briefly. Upe and I, a few moments later, a man dressed in a completely different outfit came out. Upe had a feeling that it was him, but we couldn't get close enough to I figured that if we spooked him, it would undo what we've accomplished today so far. Another option would have been to arrest him there and then. So I stopped Upe, and I stayed here to wait for you while that meathead went to ask around and
good work. The fish didn't take the bait, but that's okay. As long as he's still swimming around, let's go to Shinwei.
Could you explain to me how that works? A guy like him comes in, changes his whole outfit right.
Our customers are free to dress however they please. What grounds would I...
Okay, fair enough, but didn't you think it was just a little bit strange?
Well, maybe I did, but it still doesn't give me the right to stop him.
Enough. Let's tone this down a little. I'll make this quick. Just one question. What did he buy while he was here?
Oh, he didn't buy anything. He just picked up a bottle of liquor that he ordered ages ago.
A bottle of liquor?
Yes, a very strong kind. Fiery, with a rich flavor. Not something the average customer would order. This gentleman ordered it in person from us a long time ago. He was only here today to pick it up.
Liquor and wineware. I see.
Where to?
Shigu Antiques.
Kayaknya lebih cepat kalau gue keluar. Kabarnya lagunya habis ya?
Hey, Miss Ninlong. Sorry to bother you. Juri, we're friends of his. He's been telling us how impressed he is with the quality, considering how affordable.
Sure. Which model?
We don't really know a whole lot about wineware. Let's just go with Juri.
Juri picked up his set not long ago as a quality imitation of an antique wineware set. Just so you're aware, we don't have many of this model left in stock. And now that Mr. Juri has taken one...
Don't worry. Price shouldn't be an issue. I'm sure we can work something out. But I'm just a little hazy on one.
For this set, the wine glasses are sold separately. Minimum purchase is 1 glass. Maximum is 4. Mr. Juri, but...
Okay. Thanks, Linlong. Seems there's a little more to buying wineware than I first thought. We'll have to mull it over.
Well, don't take too long. We could sell out any day now. All right. See you next time.
Lucu anjir.
This is turning into a real...
I'd just like to point out that we have the self-professed Grand Master of Fieldwork here to thank for being wholly in...
It's not like you did it.
My specialty is information trading, okay?
Yelan, oh, if we can't figure out where Jerry went,
If so, it's no ordinary.
what do you mean?
First of all, Jur-E isn't much of a drinker. On some level, he hates alcohol because of what it did to his father. If he was just looking to celebrate by himself, he wouldn't spend his meager savings on an expensive bottle of alcohol, let alone buy a pair of special wine glasses. Now, this is a victory feast, held in honor of Jur-E's private sponsor. Whoever this person is clearly enjoys hard liquor and has a very high status, hence the need for expensive-looking wineware. Now, where might we find Fatui who match that description, I wonder?
Fatui officials. Should be either the Snezhnayan Embassy or the Northland Bank.
Have both locations surrounded. Take as many people as you need.
Lady Yelan, is it time for us to make our move?
Get with the program, would you? This is a covert surveillance operation. Jur-E may be vigilant, but that doesn't mean the same is true for his drinking buddy. In which case, we don't need to change tactics.
Great idea! So we just need to find out who Jerry bought that liquor for and follow...
But Lady Yelan, if we get caught, this could become a major diplomatic incident.
I'm well aware, but don't you see? Jur-E is gambling everything on this. If we really want to catch him, we're going to have to accept a little risk ourselves. Stick to your orders, and make sure we're covering all other bases too. Anywhere else.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't worry, Lady Yelan. Jur-E may be a slippery character, but we'll keep a...
I'll be waiting for you at the tea. If I'm guessing correctly, Fatui officials are likely to take action at night.
Hello.
Perfect timing. Wenyuan just sent word that the Fatui ambassador, Yusupov, just left the embassy alone. He's heading in the direction of Qingshu.
Qingshu Pool?
It looks like that's where they've arranged to meet. Qingshu Pool is always crawling with monsters. Most people wouldn't dream of going there. It's one place they...
Oh no, we can...
Let's go. If my hunt...
Okay.
This is Qingshu Pool, full of ruins, crawling with monsters. Anyone with any sense steers well clear of this place. I've looked into the place before. There's a workers' entrance somewhere around here. Follow me.
Oh, sebentar, di sana ada cheese. Halo. Kabar?
Stand clear.
Better than nothing.
Yeah.
There's been some work done on this place in the past, but it's a bit of a labyrinth inside. I can't guarantee the workers left an emergency access route. Still, be ready to fight at any moment.
Don't worry, we're up. By the way, Yelan,
They have other things to take care of first.
Iyo. Kalau gitu gue bawa tim itu. Karena nanti di dalam pasti ada Yelan dong. File Yelan. kita lihat. Trial ini senjatanya aqua simulacra, jelas. Pakai alamat. C3. Oke. Kali 8811. Oh. Ah, gua ngapain?
Everybody stand back. Who wants some of this? Bam! Can't get.
As I expected, but this shouldn't be too much trouble.
I see that. That's gotta be the Fatui ambassador here to meet Ji. Looks like he. That must be the emergency access.
This is the construction workers' emergency access route, but it's closed tight.
Puzzle kah?
Trying to break through would be risky. Let's see if we can find another way.
Oh. Jaga-jaga kalau kita ngambil climber dia langsung begitu.
Take it easy.
Aduh, energi dicasnya.
Charge! It's nothing. I'm going in. Everyone on me. Odin coming through. Bam!
Masih. Tang mulu, Cok.
The water's gone down.
Can't catch me.
Sini teman-teman.
Attaboy.
Gutsy. Busted. Gotcha.
Mau kemana? Ini bisa diangkat aja tadi. Naik.
Take it easy.
Oh, ini. Ayan.
Busted.
Pull in.
udah habis. Halo. Mekanismenya.
Waters flowed into the groove, and now the statues have lit up. Okay, now we should be able to move the statues.
Oke, jadi ini kita dorong ke sini, dorong ke sini, dorong ke sini. Kita mentokin aja ya. Kita dorong, 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 lagi, dorong, 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 dorong.
The door is open. Let's go.
Let's go.
We should be nearly at the bottom now. Let's wrap this up.
Oke, please, susah dikit. Nah, halo.
Gotcha.
Lah.
Charge! It's nothing. Your life is mine. Give up.
Oke, kalau gue giniin, tambah gue giniin. Wow. Kenapa musuhnya gampang sekali ya? Ya, selalu gue bawa itu.
I can tell from the aroma that this is very fine liquor indeed. I'm impressed. Come on, bottoms up. After you, of course.
Sorry, that went down the wrong way. I've never drunk anything this strong before. It'll take me some getting used to.
You'll get there. If you want to stay friends with us, you have to drink with us.
I'll do my best.
You're more of a lightweight than I thought. Already struggling after one class? I thought you were made of sterner stuff. You certainly kept it together when you were poisoning your teacher's soup.
Sangat expositional. Ini buset ada orangnya itu.
Another round. Less talking.
Sure. You didn't leave me much of a choice, though, did you? Just the mention of poisoning sends shivers down my spine. I'm more timid than you realize. Every time I poisoned him, I had to hide away at home for a few days because I was so scared of getting...
Look, I I know it has not been easy for you, my friend, but I have to say, you really are quite a genius at I mean, the poison we brought from Snezhnaya is as strong as this wine, but you found a way to turn it into an imperceptible, slow-acting poison, and... what was it you said? Oh, yeah. You said the soup's fishy flavor neutralizes the pungency of the poison, and this process even makes the soup tastier as a result.
It struck me one day when I was fishing.
You have performed excellently. The Fatui will continue to provide the support you need to consolidate your position as Tianshu. Of course, this is as long as you... Aside from Qingshu Pool, we also have some other...
Don't worry. Whatever tasks you have for me, I will perform them diligently.
Did you hear that? It was poison. That's why Uncle Tian hasn't been feeling well recently. What a nasty guy.
Hold on. Did you bring the camera? If not, you can use mine. This is quite a scene. We have to capture it for posterity.
Excellent. We've seen no progress on the diplomatic front, and everyone has been eyeing up the treasure of Qingshu Pool. It's been a real headache, but soon everything will be taken care of, and I can report back on a successful mission. Thank you, Juri. I remember when I first saw you. I knew right away that you would make a good partner for us. Hey, do you still remember what I said to you?
How could I forget? You said a lowly commoner like me could never be... The only way is for you to shine bright in the Tianshu's darkest moment.
Yes, under normal circumstances, the gap between you and other... Just look at your two competitors. Chen Wei had wealth. Ming Bo had reputation. But you? And that's why I decided to help you. You know, there's an old saying in the Fatui. Give a starving dog a bone, and it'll guard...
Yes, I cannot thank you enough.
You know, the best thing about you is that you do as you're told without complaining. Heck, when you're not in the company of the Fatui, you'll be able to throw your weight around as much as you want. How about that?
Uncle Gao said that Jur-E has low self-esteem. Seems he was right. He was worried that whatever advantage he might have now...
Nih, ora
diminish
itu
over
ya
time. So the Fatui persuaded him that he should act while he can. Do you have any more film in the camera? Then get ready to use it. How well this goes for us depends on how Jur-E...
Ooh, is there any more alcohol? Go on. Fill me up. I'm gonna...
There's only a little left. Here, I'll fill your glass. If you like it, I can bring you some more next time.
Whoa, this is the good stuff. Huh? Jur-E, you poisoned my wine?
You seem surprised, Mr. Yusupov. How could I not? I've sacrificed years of my life studying and reflecting to prepare myself for this position. You really think I'd put myself through all that just to become your little puppet? I don't want to bow down to anyone ever.
You imbecile. It's the Fatui who got you to where you are. Do you
see the haystack in the corner? Underneath it is a pile of explosives. And next door in the dark room are the 3 undercover agents you sent to infiltrate the Black Cliff Forge. I'm gonna stay here till I see you slip into unconsciousness. Then I'm gonna set this on fire. Once the flames burn through the hay, they'll ignite the explosives. The ruins will collapse, and...
What?
I took the liberty of leaving some evidence of your contact with the undercover agents at the Black Cliff Forge. It won't take long for people to join the dots. 2 missing person cases will become one as the truth gradually reveals itself. The Fatui planted undercover agents in the Black Cliff Forge to steal their signature ruin-grade explosives. Their plan was to blow through the solid floor tiles in the dead of night and seize the treasure of Qingshu Pu. But things didn't quite go to plan. Mistakes were made that led to the accidental deaths of the entire crew. Faced with the overwhelming evidence, The embassy won't investigate this any further. In fact, they'll be only too happy to blame it all on a rogue operation by you. It explains why you acted alone, while exonerating the rest of the embassy of any liability. Of course, none of that will have anything to do with me. When all of this comes to my attention, I'm afraid I'll have no choice but to cancel the Qingshu Pool redevelopment plan immediately.
Jerry, do you really think you're gonna get away with this? After I die, they'll come looking.
A record? Oh, you must mean the one in the hands of your second-in-command, Theophan? Because when you contacted me, I also made contact with your associates. I have Theophan to thank for... He'll help me tie up all the loose ends. After all, your untimely demise comes with a few perks for him. He has been eyeing your position for a long...
That traitor!
Poetic ribet banget ya.
Relax. It's over. After tonight, everyone gets what they want. And anyone else in the know is either my accomplice or about to be sweet dreams, Mr. Yusaba.
Ya, orangnya bisa. Oh,
I did a little surveying on the way here and found that you'd left yourself 3 escape routes in case things went south. I have them all surrounded. If you're thinking of trying anything, save yourself the effort. The game's up. We were here the whole time and have pictures of everything.
The game's up? I happened to discover a Fatui operation here, so I approached them on the pretext of joining forces and eventually brought them down from within. If it pleases...
This is how you want to play it, huh? Fine. You do you. All we need to do to convict you is establish that the poison in his system is the same as in Nothing else you wanted to add? Let's leave it there then. Time to go.
One wrong move and it all comes crashing down. You followed him here, didn't you? I was so focused on keeping myself out of sight. Let's talk about this, Yelan. I gave you my word that I... When I take office, I can guarantee that I will act in your best interests. In fact, all of you here tonight can expect very generous treatment in the future. I don't deny that I used underhanded methods to get here.
You still don't get it, do you? Even now. What do you think? Exactly. Jur-E, clever people can always come up with a good excuse. But while you might be able to get other people to believe you, you'll never be able to There's nothing wrong with wanting to win other people's respect, but when has Uncle Tien ever looked down on you?
oh.
He was like a teacher and a father to you, but you chose to repay that by poisoning him. Whatever positive goal you may have started out with.
That's enough.
Of course. What makes this even crueler is that you managed to convince yourself there was no other way. Uncle, out of everyone in the world, he is the one who trusts you the most. So much that he drank your fish soup without doubting you, not for...
That's enough!
Nangis loh.
Life is like fishing. It cannot be rushed. Whatever you do, impatience will accomplish nothing. I was just like you once, desperate to prove myself. Only later did I realize things do not always turn out the way you planned. But you have to keep calm to carry on. You're still young. Be patient, believe in yourself, and don't look outside yourself to prove your value. Where's Jury these days? It's been a long time since he last paid me a visit.
Maybe he's just busy.
Well, next time, if he doesn't bring a pot of piping hot fish soup, don't let him in.
Whatever you mull it over in prison. Oh, I almost forgot. If the Fatui find out what happened today, prison might not turn out to be the safest place for you. Trying to have friends on both sides, it has a way of turning everyone against you. But right now, I have an opportunity for you.
Suaranya.
Sorry, things are about to get extremely busy for me. I'll have someone remove the explosives.
Need our help with that?
No, it could be dangerous. Don't worry, as long as they're willing to co-op, get some rest.
Oh yeah. Jam 8 the following day. Shanty House.
There is now no poison left in his system. But recovery from the damage already done will not happen overnight.
Dr. Baishu, is my father going to be...
You needn't worry too much. Keep taking the prescribed medicine every day, and a full recovery will take at most 2 to 3 years. It's good we caught it in time. A few days later, and the toxin would have built up in the internal organs. At that point, things would have been much more serious.
How did they successfully secure such a seldom-seen poison? It seemed, unfortunately for them,
Uncle Tien will be heading off now. Remember to get plenty of rest and avoid overexerting yourself while you're recovering.
Don't worry, I will. Thank you very much.
Orochimaru.
You're here too? Thank you for all you've done to resolve. Yes, the exhaustion seems to have gone.
Luckily, it looks like choosing the Tianshu's successor is suddenly not such a pressing issue after all.
Hey, Yelan!
My work is mostly wrapped up, so I thought I'd take a minute to check it. The assessment process comes to an end here, Uncle Tien. In my opinion, Zhi is not suitable for the position, but...
You have my gratitude. People can change their loyalties easily.
Is it this Paimon, or is Uncle...
Don't underestimate Uncle Tien. He wouldn't have appointed me as assessment officer if he hadn't had his doubts about... Normally, the Yuer High Pavilion would be responsible for assessing the candidates.
Yes, to be quite honest, I wanted to trust. When I first met Zhi, I wondered if he had approached me with a hidden agenda. I concluded that he had no ulterior motive. In the end, even he changed. I never had any plans to recommend him directly, but I always intended to give him the chance to compete on a level playing field. I had no reputation to speak of when I first became Tianshu. I relied on Ganyu's assistance for all manner of things. But
I have to admit, he's a smart guy. The intel suggests that the Fatui saw him as very low risk. But Zhi was still extremely... He chose that specific liquor from Xinyue Kiosk because the fiery flavor would mask the bitterness of the poison. And he chose to wait until the Fatui official was... He also installed a secret compartment in the wine pot he bought to hold the poison. As the amount of liquor went down, he'd shake the pot to release the poison from the compartment into the liquor. Afterwards, we also found he had an antidote on him, Had the Fatui official grown suspicious, Jur-E would have drunk the poisoned wine himself, and then found an opportunity to take the antidote shortly afterwards.
That's still really...
Yes. Had he drunk the poisonous wine, he still would have faced serious health consequences despite taking the antidote. He'd have...
How is Jerry?
Well, I mean, he's sitting in a jail cell. Like Yenfei says, everyone who breaks the law has to pay the price. Still, he's cooperating. He didn't turn down my offer to strike a deal. I'll make sure there are plenty of guards around to keep him safe.
A deal?
Yes, Jur-E's not the one I'm interested in. If he was as far as this went, I'd have handed the case up. But once the Fatui became involved, things got a whole lot more interesting.
Well, did you?
Almost. Unfortunately, it slipped off the hook at the last second.
Uncle Tien? Yelan? What are you talking about?
Jur-E colluded with the Fatui to try and secure the position of Tianshu. Or, with Yusupov in our hands and a statement from Jur-E, we could afford to continue with the diplomatic offensive. Also, we'd be able to gain control of Theophon, Yusupov's second in command. Then we'd have a pawn in the ranks of the Fatui. Pawns like this can be major assets. They open up all sorts of new options. Why else did you think?
Okay.
We got halfway. The first part went off without a hitch, and we passed all the information on to Lady Ningguang. But when we tried to make contact with Theophon, he was gone.
The Fatui must be spying on
I found out from other sources that the Harbinger Regrator got involved. The Fatui's main forces aren't concentrated here. Regrator was only treating this as a peripheral concern. It's a pity that Theophon got away. But knowing which Harbingers are still looking at Liyue is something. It gives me a starting point for my next...
I have to ask, Yelan. Do you have... I remember you showed some interest a few days ago at Yenshang Tea House.
Oh, that. I was obviously joking. I prefer my current life. There's danger and there's excitement, although it'd still be a behind-the-scenes role. As Tianshu, I wouldn't have the chance to get involved in anything truly clandestine or face any real danger. All right, I'm done here. Time for me to go. I'm heading off again in a few days, and I still have to prepare.
Where are you off to this time?
As you might have guessed, it's for me. But I'm sure if you keep going as you are, getting yourselves involved in other people's business all the time, you're sure to get caught up in another misadventure. Maybe I'll see you the next time danger beckons. Until then, keep your wits about you. A lot of people... If you have any more questions, just ask Uncle Tien. After the recent...
Hai? Nice. Jadi gue bisa gacha kah? Enggak. Kukushinobu udah bisa kita naikin.
Earning an advanced certificate is not easy.
Lawan gue aja. Naikin level dia ke Oke guys, kita udahan dulu. Mungkin malam gue bakal lanjut.
They can be some of the toughest little guys around. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Want to know what's on this beetle's diet? Sweat and tears.
Nah, oke, kita lanjut. Nanti malam ya, gue mau hangout Cookie dan gue mau farming buat